Ivan Melendez attended McAllen High School and later earned a bachelor's degree in biology at the University of Texas at Austin. He then graduated from the University of Puerto Rico Medical School with his MD degree. Dr. Melendez is a hospital-based physician in emergency medicine and is trained as a family physician. He has lived in McAllen most of his life and currently serves as the health authority for Hidalgo County. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome Dr. Ivan Melendez.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I was asked to move away from the podium, which is fortunate so you can see me. Today, I was also reminded that I needed to tell you what I do. I mean, what else would I do, right? It's really interesting when you hear people introduce you because you always feel like, but I'm so much more than just that, right? Today's my favorite topic that I'm going to talk to you about. The only thing that I'm truly an expert in, it's me. I love talking about myself. There's someone in the audience saying, hey, we're counting the minutes. And so, because, man, I've been so blessed. I grew up 3 blocks away from here in those little shacks on 2nd Street when you're coming to school, or when you're driving to get here, those little, right here, 3 blocks away, we used to throw grapefruits at cars from the canal. We'd sit up here in the orchard because that's what we had. And so you can imagine the pride that I have that someone thinks that I'm important enough or impactful enough to give me the pleasure to come talk to you guys. And so I hate flexing, but part of what I have to tell you today is I have to flex. So I either can tell you a little bit about my life or take my shirt off. What do you guys choose? All right, I heard that loud. So let's go maybe start backwards. I am a physician, but I'm a lot more than that. I have so many jobs. I even stand on little cakes at weddings. And so there's so many different things that I do that it'll amaze you. So, back in the day when I was growing up, you wanted to be just like your hero. And my hero was my dad. And he was a physician. And so I had no business really getting into medicine. As you can tell, my personality is your typical doctor. But sure, I'm glad I did. And so I went to Wilson, Lamar, Mac High, Pan Am, UT Austin. Went back home where we're originally from, Puerto Rico, because it was a U.S. school, and it was $500 a semester instead of $15,000. Came back, went to Baylor. I did a MedPD residency. And so my format is where you are now. The thoughts that you're having now, the questions that you're having now, different times. We didn't have phones, to be honest with you. I'm so old that I still remember we were the first people on the block that had a television back in the 60s. I remember when John F. Kennedy was assassinated. That's old. And so a lot has changed, but people have not. We've been around for about 192,000 years. Homo sapiens are very interesting people. Neanderthals, which we crossbred with, you'd go to the river and Neanderthal would look at another Neanderthal and they would say, hey, Joe, there's a crocodile. He's in the river, so when you get there, be careful, because he'll eat you. Okay, thanks. A Homo sapien would get to the river. You look in the river, he'd see the crocodile, he'd come back, hey, Joe, there's a crocodile in the river, be careful. And you know what? That crocodile, he's a spirit of the supreme being that has made us. And I'm super connected with him. So if you give me some of your food, I can hook you up. And so men, Homo sapiens, we were designed to join together forces so that we could conquer. And so we conquered, evolutionary. But by doing so, we had to develop these social capacities to interact with each other so we could work as a team. Whatever profession you choose, it's going to be a team. And so we did so. And that's where we're able to prosper. And really, we're the only primates that are really left. We're the only Homo sapiens, wise ones that are left. Because we were able to adapt, to invent to imagery. Well, why would someone take your banana away today so you could get 5 bananas on Friday, right? That's a tough concept. Give me your banana and on Friday I'll give you 5. Hell no, right? So we're very special. Everyone in this room is special. For me, when I can tell you all the stories about where I was, where you were sitting. First, I was afraid I was scared. I didn't think I could do it. And like you all, I was warned about global warming, how bad the world was, social inequities, how my future was going to be so bad, overpopulation, not enough food. The same thing you're hearing. We've been around for 200,000 years. The world was formed 4.5 billion years ago. We've had 120 billion human beings live. We have 8 billion now. In 1800, there was 1 billion. When I was your age, there was 4 billion people. Life can sustain on this planet only about 10 billion people. By 2050, there will be 10 billion people living on this world. In order for us to live, not to saturate the carbon dioxide, we're going to have to be ingenious, invent. 90% of the food right now, it's being farmed, it's being grown. We are no longer in the stage of human development where we are able to sustain without having ingenuity and intelligence and technology. So it requires so many different people, so many different things. But when you're feeling, I was in Antarctica about 2 months ago. It's true, the world is melting. If you ever get to go to Antarctica, emperor penguins are this big. I mean, I'll never wear a tuxedo again. They're this big. It's very intimidating. Yeah, the world is melting. There's some bad stuff going on. But you know what? If we go the way we're going now, we probably have about 1 billion years to go before carbon dioxide is saturated. And we probably have about 8 billion years to go. If you believe in science and math, which I do, to me, science is math. It's not political science. It's not medical science. It's just math. And if you believe in math, you know the first law of thermodynamics is what? Energy cannot be made or destroyed. The second law is everything moves toward disorder, through entropy. So the same math that gets us to the moon and back is the same math that says that this world in 8 billion years, it will be sucked up by the sun. In 1 billion years, won't sustain life. Well, I think that's you're cleared, and your kids are cleared, and the grandkids are cleared. So whenever you're feeling gloomy about the future, man, don't worry about it. There's lots of time. And don't hold back your dreams because the world's going to end. Because we're led to believe that nonsense. So it'll be here. There have been 4 occasions where we almost destroyed the entire population, right? There's this mountain, this volcano in Indonesia, Toba. It exploded in 75,000 years ago. All this volcanic ash darkened the world for 10 years. It was like a nuclear holocaust. It killed the majority of Homo sapiens that were alive. But we adapted. We learned how to come together. We moved out of Africa and into Asia. That's why people who are racial, people who are against blacks or Asians or Hispanics or indigents, it's pretty ignorant. It's really ignorant because that's where we come from. That's who we are. It's like being racist against your cousin. So, although I got a weird cousin. But if you see it from that perspective, if you say, man, there's plenty of time, it takes a lot of pressure off of you. And so I'm here to tell you that there's a lot to be hopeful for. Everyone probably in this room believes that you're not better than anybody. You know how when you fly and you get on an airplane, and I'm cheap, so I always go in the back, and you walk into first class, right? And everyone looks at you like this. Okay, you know that attitude? There's very few people I believe in this room think they're better than other people, right? So you guys know math, right? So 1 + 2 is 3, 2 + 1 is 3. That means if you're not better than other people, guess what? Nobody's better than you. So when you feel somewhat challenged, embarrassed, I don't know if I can do this or not, just remember, everybody has a different skill set. In fact, part of maturing is understanding. Yeah, some people can sing better. Yeah, some people can run faster. Today is like a pep rally for brains, as opposed to a pep rally for football, right? I look at it and I see a lot of brainy people. And so just because you're smarter or not as smart, you don't have to be intimidated by anybody. Find your skill. Find where you're coming from. Find what you're good at. And you'll prosper. So, back to my favorite subject, me. You're a lot more than your profession. You're a lot more than a doctor or a teacher or an attorney. You're a lot more than that. That's just a little bit of who you are. There's your mystical life, your spiritual life, your work life, your personal life, all sorts of lives. And just don't pressure yourself so much. I chose to be a doctor, and guess what I've done as a doctor? I used that to open the doors. I was on Broadway. Well, that's not true. Let me restate that. I went to New York to be on Broadway. But everyone looked like Brad Pitt, and they all danced like Beyonce. And so I didn't get any parts, not even the 8-year-old part. But I tried. I tried. I was in the astronaut program. Well, not really. I was at Baylor doing my residency, and they came and they said, who wants to be an astronaut? Yeah. And so we went down, 15 of us, and at the end of 2 weeks, 14 of us left and one stayed. But I was at NASA doing the twist and wanting to be an astronaut. When I was in the doctor's lounge and I saw people flying off the buildings at 9/11 in New York, I was enraged. And we had someone in there that was saying, now you will get what you deserve, you Americans. And it really pissed me off, man. That guy ended up getting arrested for funding terrorism, by the way, a physician here in town. And so I went to my recruiter, and he said, don't worry, man. Stateside. Don't ever believe the recruiter when he says you'll never be deployed. So I got deployed a bunch of times. But it was so cool, because I got to fly Blackhawks, and I decided who flew the Apaches. So I'm flying in war, shooting at things and getting shot at and going on missions. And being in the military, you're not only killing and destroying, you're helping. You're building cities, you're building schools, you're dealing with poverty, you're educating people. It's a cool job. I never would have done that had I not been a physician. I started to, since I got beat up so much when I was a kid, I really enjoyed, martial arts. So I started working for HBO and for Showtime. I've done over 25 world championship fights. I've been around the world doing fights. So cool. I used to be Manny Pacquiao's personal doctor, so I would fly to the Philippines. We would go to Gensan and hang out. Awesome. One day we were doing the HBO pre-fight, and we were in Vegas, and we went to the private room behind the private room, and guess who we had dinner with? Angelina Jolie, Brad Pitt, Jack Nicholson. Oh my God. Angelina looks like, Leah, can you stand up? Really thin, really hot, really big head. Yeah. Hair, they do the hair all morning. And Brad, oh my God. I don't even like guys. He was so handsome. I didn't even want to be in the room with the guy. And Jack Nicholson, every old person in the room is your hero. He was drunk. But he was a fun drunk. A little guy that grew up 2 blocks from here. He's in NASA. He's flying Blackhawks. He's having dinner with Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. I mean, look at this. You want to pinch yourself. How the hell did I get here? And you know what it is? Don't worry about it. Focus. Be real. If you choose to be a physician, look into their eyes and feel their pain. Cry with them. Tell them you don't know, but I'll find out. And you can't doubt yourself. For a little bit, yes, but not forever. And I think that if you follow where you think you need to be, has anyone here ever read The Alchemist? Raise your hand if you read The Alchemist. Okay, so you remember the theory. Let go, the leaf let goes in the river, and the world conspires to take you to where you need to be. So if I keep thinking I'm going to be a power forward for the Rockets, it ain't going to happen. You just have to let yourself go and see where your skill set takes you. 1, do not define yourself by your profession. Don't be a doctor. Do you know how long? You know that when you go to a party, you can identify a doctor in 8 seconds. You know how? He'll tell you. He'll tell you, hi, I'm a doctor. And it's because, not because they brag, it's because it's so entwined on who we are. Right? That's who we are. I don't think that's too healthy. I think you're a lot more than just that. What a pity if your tombstone said, he was a good doctor. Come on, man. I'm a lot more than that. So don't be nervous and don't be scared about, do I do this or do I do that? Imagine if someone said to me, do you want to be on Broadway or you want to be a physician? I'll take Broadway, man. Oh, I didn't make it. How did I know that wasn't going to open doors for me to represent my country in war and fly these cool machines? How did I know I wasn't going to meet these celebrities? And how did I know I wasn't going to really face the toughest challenges of my life because I was a physician? I was walking in the hospital, and I fainted 3 times. I never faint. And I grabbed an ultrasound machine, I put her on my chest, and I had a big tumor in my heart. 2 weeks later, I died. I died twice. I collapsed. I died twice. They actually cut me open. I would show you, but I respect you. And they opened the scar up, and they grabbed my heart and started squeezing it. I thought that when you died, I'm not a religious person, although I have some very spiritual beliefs. I thought when you died, you died. I'm not a weirdo, man. I'm not running around passing, where are you going to go when you die? Have you accepted? I don't criticize that, but that's not me. I'm a science guy, man. I'm a math guy. I'm an evidence data-based person. You told me this works, show me the data. And here I am dead. And I hear this voice. And I always thought when I heard God, it would sound like The Rock. Right? Melendez. No. When I heard God, it was in my own voice. I started talking to myself in words and things that I never would say. Slow down. Take a deep breath. It's okay. You're going to be all right. It's not your time yet. I still have so many things for you to do. Man, that was scary. But it was real. I wasn't under any anesthesia. I wasn't on any medication. I didn't have any perceived thoughts of what was going to happen to me. This is real. I'm talking to myself in words that I would never use. And not even a philosophy. Do I look like a guy that says slow down? I never slow down, man. And here I have myself telling me, slow down, right? So for a long time, I didn't understand why I had been given a second chance. What was my role? And you all remember Maslow's pyramid of needs, right? Food and shelter, being relevant. Food and shelter, autonomy, respect from others, self-respect. Maslow's pyramid of needs. Everyone here has seen it at some class. Well, I'm at the top. That doesn't mean you're at the best, but I'm at the top where I'm trying to maintain relevancy. How can a 63-year-old man who grew up 2 blocks away from here still be relevant to a 17-year-old person? How can I touch your lives? How can I make you say, wow, that old man, he's crazy, but he's got a point. And I believe that this experience was one of the reasons why I'm here. My experience with COVID, where I was on, you name it, MSNBC, CBS, the Today Show, the Tomorrow Show, the In 2 Weeks Show, Sky News, every show, here I am fighting with Cuomo and fighting with all these people of the world, being in panels of these illustrious people. And here I was, representing us, getting data, leading the way, showing us what we needed to do and what we did not need to do. Of course, going back, we made mistakes. But at the time, you're going to let people go to school when you got 70 people dying every day? You're going to let people go to school filled with people my age? Of course not. So for me and for you and for everyone here, as you grow older and your life gives you these experiences of, Lord forbid, your father, your mother dying, losing a child, getting divorced, getting a terrible disease, having something horrible happen to you, it will change your life. Not getting into medical school or only getting into 3, however you define it. It will change your life. And it will change the way you think today. So I'm going to leave you with 2 thoughts because Leah needs to talk to you too. The first thought I want to give you is there is so much hope. If you believe sitting out there that you can't make it or that the future is without hope, I'm here to tell you we got 1 billion years. 1 billion years. So yes, your great-great-grandkids will still be around. So don't believe this stuff. There is global warming. We need to do something about it. Black plague killed 200 million people. COVID, 6-7 million people. In 1994, I don't know if you guys remember, the Russians thought we had launched rockets at them. It only takes 10 nuclear to 100 nuclear bombs to destroy the world. They were about to launch. This was just 20, 30 years ago. We've been this close. When the super collider was finished, everyone thought it was going to create mini black holes and the world was going to be usurped. So yeah, we can't take things for granted. But in all likelihood, you got time. Please have hope. The second message I want to leave you with is, do you need to be humble, but at the same time be self-assertive and know who you are? Understand that just like you're not better than anyone, no one is better than you. And define your choices by the way you want to live. If you don't know what your role in life is, if you don't know at your eulogy or what you would say at your dad's eulogy, those characteristics that to you are important. To me, building deep relationships with people, your parents, your kids, your schoolmates. If you can develop deep relationships with people, it's a testimony to your ability to be humble, but yet to be assertive, to learn, but yet to teach, to be present, but yet to be absent. So if you're able to get along with people, to me, that's how I define, a successful life. Don't get lost along the way. I have 12 houses, 42 cars, 30 watches. I should be an attorney. And it gets a point in your life where who cares the size of your eyelashes or other parts of your body? Who cares? It's just not important. Don't buy into the nonsense. So define your life. Do you want to live a normal life? Whatever that means. A regular life, nighttime manager at Stripes, perfectly okay. Or do you want to change the world? And if you want to have an impact in life, if you want to leave this world and say, wow, this guy or this girl, you have to commit to excellence. All the time. Your room, your hygiene, the way you study, the way you respect other people, you have to commit to excellence. In medicine, if you're not committed to excellence, why would you want me to be your doctor? Doesn't make sense. So I'm giving you a tall task, but I'm speaking to you from my heart. And I guarantee you, one of the reasons I'm here today is because God has given me a chance to talk to you. And you're giving me a lot more than what I'm giving you. So thank you for listening to me.